Hello, my name is Jisung Han from Team Slit, and I will be introducing on how to use Founder Sprint Bookface. So Bookface is a platform we use to run Founder Sprint and other accelerators, and everything is organized around batches, which are basically cohorts, and each batch has its own assignments, sessions, events, and office hours. And as an admin, you're the one setting all that up and keeping things running smoothly. This is a dashboard of each batches. So if we click this, you can switch between multiple batches that you can set up. Later on, I'll show you how to do this, and it's going to go to the feed, right? And the dashboard is the one that shows all of the upcoming questions, events, and active assignments in that specific batch, and recent questions and upcoming events. And there's admin quick links over here. This basically shows around what is going around in this single batch. You can post like Y Combinator's Bookface system, so all the founders that are in here can share their posts, for example like this, and you can actually post yourself, and you can even tag, for example, the people over here, and if we tag that person and actually create a post. So if we mention this over here, you can actually go into that profile if we click it. And so if we go into this profile, as you can see, you can actually click the message button, and you can actually go in, say hi to people like this, and you can actually reply and have like an actual message inside the Bookface and actually have a chat. And the other way of actually going inside is clicking the button, this message button, and then start clicking other people, and you can actually start interacting. Like the Bookface, we have general, launch, classified, recruiting, where you can choose where to upload based on your topic, and you can even add photos by clicking. And these are all the features of feed. And now let's move on to the actual features of the Founder Sprint. Before we go any further, let's quickly cover the different roles in the system. So if you click this, you can actually choose as a super admin, you can actually choose multiple roles. So to start off, super admin can do anything. They have full access, including granting super admin and all the other roles below. So it's the highest maintenance role. And for admin, admins can manage batches, users, companies, assignment sessions, events, and office hours. And the only thing you can't do is assign someone as a super admin. So, and there is a little bit of role difference in there. So if you look at mentor can create assignments, answer questions, and leave feedback inside the questions and respond to office hour requests that they are hosting, but they can't manage batches, users, or companies. And for founders, founder is the main participant role, and they submit assignments, ask questions, and request office hours. And for co-founders work basically the same as a founder, but they need to be linked to a founder when they're invited. So for example, if we choose like a batch, the ended batch, and try to invite a user and choose a co-founder, then you have to select the primary founder inside that batch to be connected to, because co-founder can't exist without a founder. And by that, if there's actually a founder, then you can click that founder that pops up and connect as a co-founder, and then add the user right over here. And that's basically it for the roles. And now let's move on to the next. And now let's start with the batches. If we go to admin and batches, click the batches right over here, and go to click create batch. You can enter the name. Maybe I'll do test, and maybe test batch, and you can set the start date and set the end date and create the batch. So, and that's basically it. And you can create the batch, and later after that batch is added, you can add the users over here and then click invite user, and I'll explain more of that later. And now if you've already run a batch before and want to reuse the same structure, you can actually clone it. So on the batches screen, you can see the clone structure button, right? So if we click clone structure, and you can copy, it says copy, and you can actually change the name to test batch or anything you want really. And then you can set the start date and set the end date by yourself, and you can successfully clone the batch. And when we press clone batch, here's what actually gets cloned: the assignment structures and session structures. That means the templates and outlines are being carried over to that cloned batch. So here's what not gets cloned: participants, events, office hours, and meet links, Google Calendar meet links, and some company specific targeted settings. But the nice thing is that the dates on cloned assignments and sessions are automatically shifted based on the difference between the old and new batch start dates. So you don't have to adjust every single date by hand. So right after cloning, you'll actually see three options. I actually missed it right over here. So let's just clone the batch again. And so close, view batch first, invite members now. And if you want to start adding people right away, you can click invite members now to instantly add people. And you can actually click review batch first. If from the source batch, you can actually add members from the source batch quickly if there are any members needed from that source batch. So you can invite without having to manually press enter, without having to manually copy and paste the invite email to the adding user page. So now let's properly get into getting people into your batch. So we go to admin, we go to users, and we choose a single batch to add the members. And you can click invite user and then click invite user and fill in their email, name, and everything. So for example, I'll do this and I'll do my name and whatever role that you intend, and optionally you can add which company that person is assigned to, and you can click add or just no company, and the founder can later request a company later, and then you can accept that request. There's the invite as an actual email. So if we click the email and press join now, and you'll be invited. So if we join now, if you're not already logged in, you can sign in with LinkedIn. So there's the cookie that is connected, so you can just log in your normal email. So for now, I'm going to use my this email and click sign in, and you'll be connected to the email properly, and you'll be logged inside like this. And if we look right here, if we refresh, then the user is status from invite to active and getting inside the batch. And while inviting the user, I did before, you can add single invite or bulk invite. So for example, select this and like this, and if we get going like that, or you can just copy and paste and just send multiple emails at the same time as a founder. We can switch the roles to whichever you want and send multiple invites, and that is possible. One thing to note is that new users get an invite with a link to accept, we saw before. But if someone already has an active account on Bookface and is on another batch, they will get added to the batch directly without needing to click the invite link because they were already invited before. And if you see on the admin page, you got a bunch of other actions available. We saw before, changing roles. You can actually change the person's role to super admin, admin, mentor, and co-founder if you are super admin. And admins can only change up to mentor, founder, and co-founder. That's how it's limited. That's how roles are limited. And there are other options: dropping out a user and deactivating the account, or just removing the person or the user from the batch completely. We have resend invite and cancel invite because the person might not accept the invite, and we can remind them by resending the invite again. And if we look inside the batch, there's recent audit entries where what admin edited, you can see there, or what founder activity you can see is what they did, or what assignments they posted are all going to be listed up here for the purpose of checking and keeping in track of everything easily, and which is very useful for keeping everything engaged and connected. And now let's move on to what happens when someone actually accepts the invite. Obviously, what we mentioned before, they're going to get inside by being invited, and they're going to go into the selected batch. But when they're invited inside, when we press this button, we actually went into the batch by joining now, already accepted because we already clicked before, as we seen before. We go into this place, right? But when we are accepted, we get this another email that shows welcome to Founder, batch copy, which shows assignments, sessions, and events, which you can go into directly to see the opening assignments. Currently, were no assignments from the copied batch, so there are sessions and events. Normally, if you clone the structure from the batch, you'll get the assignments, sessions, and events, and you can directly go in and check what the founder can directly go in and check what sessions there are and what they can actually see. But one thing to note is that office hours are not included in the onboarding email because office hours are set individually, so you'll need to communicate that with individual founders separately. So assignments are one of the important parts of running a batch. So you can actually press to create an assignment, and you can also save any assignment as a template and reuse it later. Start from template right over here. I already have a test one ready. So for example, we can just do this or just delete. You can also have the option to delete a template. There will be a warning, but if we can just delete a template, just start with new one, just test, ready, and set like a date and everything. And you can choose what batch you're going to give that assignment to. So I'm going to just choose this copy batch, or you can actually select a specific company to assign that specific assignment, to have that assignment given to the company for the liking. And when we create assignment, they're going to actually send the email for the assignment to the founders, because creating an assignment will send the email to founders that there was an assignment being created. So as we saved as a template, if we click create new assignment, you can click test, and we already have the pre-built template ready. And if there's a URL, there will be URL like a doc or everything ready, and you can just create the due date and just create an assignment, which is going to send email to all the users inside the batch if it's set to entire batch, and specific companies and people, founders inside the batch. And you can see who's missing, and you can hit send deadline reminder, which is gonna send them an email to tell them that the test is due soon, like this. Test is awaiting your submission. And just tell you is that there is an automatic reminder system already in check. So the system checks once a day, and 24 hours before the assignment's deadline, it sends reminders to anyone who hasn't submitted yet, and it won't send duplicates, so you don't have to worry about spamming people. Now that's it for the assignments, and now let's talk about schedules. So if we go into schedule like this, inside the batch, there is total of 4 features that you can actually use: 2 events, general session, and office hour. And general session is your core activities that you can do: lectures, check-ins, maybe presentations, and you can edit, delete, and save as templates, and you can also attach slides and URLs and everything. And sessions are also synced to Google Calendar, and you can target them to specific companies. If you click this, and you can just select all active batches, all session, or specific batches. And if it's set to specific batches, if you select that one batch, you can actually even select specific companies that you can do, or just the entire batch, and you can select the descriptions and what links that you want to post in that specific session. And if we click general session, it's going to send Google Calendar invites to all the users, and it will be done like that. And events are more of standalone activities. Things demo day, networking meetups, and online seminars can be in events, and you can manage them with list calendar views and filter by type like this, with also other office hours and everything. Office hours, events, and general sessions, you can control them with the calendar. So for events, there are a total of 2 types: virtual and in-person. And virtual, it actually automatically creates a meeting link, and there is join with Google Meet because it is a virtual event. Do whatever you want over here. And in-person event is the same, except there is no meeting link, and you can have all the options of the batches and everything as well, but this is just intended for separation, and there is no meeting link for in-person. This is just for all-time Google Calendar reminder for the events that are in person. So for office hours have their like a different management flow, and as an admin, there are a total of 3 options: direct invite by company, and direct invite by founder, and open office hour by batch. And on the founder side, they'll also see options to request and book and join waitlist or join a new office hour. And I'll elaborate on that right now. So direct invite by company is you can actually directly choose from that batch which company there are. There's no company in this copy batch, obviously. But if we go into different batch, you can actually choose this company. There's this company, and you can choose that, and then choose what date, and you can choose time zones and send an invite accordingly to that, and that will also set Google Calendar invite and Google Meet link, both of them, and with that individual company. And for direct invite by founder, you can choose one founder inside that batch, like this batch, and you can set the date, and same thing, the invite will be sent to only that founder and not the whole company. An open office hour is any founder in that selected batch can book for that slot and will be reminded that there will be an open office hour in that timing. So if we create an open office hour, you can actually create an open office. Because this account is not in a company, you can't really join the company. But if this account was in a company, you can actually click and request and accept that office hour, and then the office hour link would be created on that specific time, and the person can actually go inside, and the person will be connected with an office hour. And there are a total of 2 weekly requests during the batch, and we can actually change that depending on the amount and everything. And that's it for the office hours. And there's a relationship that should be considered between founders and co-founders. So founders and co-founders can submit company change requests. So if we go to community and companies, there's multiple companies like this, right? If you come to like a user with no company like this, then you can actually request new company, and you can request like a company name like Slit2, and then just submit request, and that will become reminded like this. So new company request, and you can actually open it, and then you can reject or approve. And if we actually approve that, then this will become a new company, and there will be a new company popping up right over here. But I'm going to reject it first. I'll reject it. If I reject it, it will obviously become reset, and there's no company requested, and there's a rejection alarm that goes off. So the relationship that should be reminded is that co-founders, when there is a founder and a co-founder leaves the selected company, then the co-founder becomes a founder, and they can actually request for a new company. And if the admin accepts that selected company, then they will become the founder of that selected company. And there is an exception where there's founder and co-founder, and founder leaves. And if the founder leaves and there's only co-founders left, then the co-founders will be promoted to founder as a role selection. And there are now the careful things that you need to consider are setting up your time zones. So these time zones drastically change time you'll be given. So obviously that will be biggest concern and considered when first setting things up. And batch switcher that I mentioned before, if you're an admin and have multiple batches, you must be careful of this. But the one thing that I need to remind all of the people is that messages and feed is universal. So there is no batch considered and broken down, and only like the assignments, office hours, and some parts of companies and things like that are separated, and a lot of the things are set to universal, and that covers the full admin side of Bookface. So if you follow the workflow that we went through right over here, setting up your batch, getting people in, and configuring your content, and keeping an eye on submissions and requests, things will run smoothly. But if anything comes up that is not covered here, reach out to the team Slit, and we'll figure it out and help you set your way on there. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.